Welcome to Capture the World with Dee. Interviews with companies and individuals to learn more about digitally capturing the built world. Video, drone, 3D tours, pictures, panoramas, and more. And now your host, a social influencer and community activist, Dee Johnson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Capture the World with Dee. I'm your host, Dee Johnson. Today's episode is being sponsored by Cubicasa, the makers of a revolutionary app that allows you to scan a property using your mobile device in under 5 minutes, and in one business day, you get a professional floor plan. If you haven't tried them out yet, go to cubi.casa, that's cubi.casa, and try your first scan, which is always free. Again, sorry, that's cubic.casa, cubi.casa. My guests today are the founders of SeekBeak, a software platform that gives you the power to bring your photos to life by creating interactive experiences and virtual tours. You can use 360s and standard images to do this. The user interface is super easy. So without further ado, please help me welcome the founders of SeekBeak, Jen and Tim Allen. Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. How are you?
Hey Dee,
Hi Dee, thanks for
Hi.
having me.
we're
So
doing well.
we have Jen on the left and Tim on the right. All right, so you two are the founders of a company called SeekBeak.
Yes.
So let's start by telling everyone a little bit about how SeekBeak came to be, a little bit about your history,
Sure.
interesting stuff about the two
There
of
you
you.
go. All right. So I've been a software developer for ages, and when I first heard about a little thing called the Oculus Rift about 6 or 7 years ago, I decided that I needed to have one of these. So I signed up as a developer for the Oculus, the initial development kit. And so I got to playing with it, and I was making some stuff and fooling around and making some software for it. And one of the cool things was that you could view a photo in 360 with the VR headset, which we're now all used to doing. Um, but once you get past the initial, 10 or 15 seconds of being able to look around the photo and say, "Wow, this is super cool," that's it, right? So I started to look for a way to add the ability to get more information from that photo, because you've got all this content. It would be really nice if you could find out what that mountain was called that you were looking at over there, or if you were looking at a town or a type of flower or something like that, right? So I started developing some software using a video game engine, actually, that would do kind of that core concept, where you would have these hotspots or interactivity areas where you could find out more information about it. So I started developing that, and then I realized that not everybody wants to download an app to your phone all the time, and it would probably have to be web-based. So I pivoted and redid it all from scratch, but now using a browser, because everybody on their phone or desktop has a browser already. And so that was what, 5, 6-ish?
We have no concept of time.
We also have no concept of time.
It gets worse the older you get, by the way.
Yes. So and then just from there, it started as a hobby project, and then it just kind of turned into a company, and it's just been iterated and growing ever since then.
Yeah, the best companies come from either a need or a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to create a company from a hobby is because it's a passion of yours, right? So it's not really like work.
Well, exactly, right. And people are like, "Oh, you're working all the time," and I was like, "No, I am, but I'm not," because it's
Yeah,
I would probably still be doing it, even if it wasn't paying some bills as well, right?
yep,
It's fun for me.
yep. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So why the name SeekBeak?
So, well, this is a good segue, actually, because as it all started on the Oculus Rift, as you know, if you're looking at things, you kind of, you're looking around, and every time you wanted to activate a hotspot, you would have to I had to figure out where the center point was, where the person was looking at,
Hmm.
which was where your nose was. So you were kind of seeking with your beak to try and activate the hotspot when you were in the virtual reality headset. And so that's where the name came from, because you were literally I was seeking with my beak to activate the hotspots in the initial versions of it.
That's a great story. I never would have thought of that.
So there you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tim, you're so smart. All right. So let's talk about SeekBeak, what it is, who it's for, how it can help people grow their business.
Right. Well, do you want to go?
Yeah, I think, well, we think SeekBeak is a toolbox, and it can be really for anyone. So it doesn't have a niche market. And I think Tim's going to show some examples of how our customers are using it.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is a toolbox to help you kind of bring whatever you want to bring to life in your photos.
Yeah. So it's like you know, a Photoshop or something like that, right? Like it's not just geared towards one industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like here's the tools. You make whatever you want with it, basically.
Yep. So what are the industries that it can be used in? Give us some examples.
Well, education, training and education has actually surprisingly been our biggest one so far. I had thought initially that, you know, real estate and stuff like that would catch on, and it has, but not to the extent that, you know, we have a lot of large universities and training facilities that are using it for training and education.
Yeah, simulated environments.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
we have a lot of museums and galleries,
Mm-hmm.
which is my background. I was in the creative industries for years and years in digital media. So I always like those ones. We always tend to share those ones because it's just such a good use for the platform.
yeah, lots of like art projects.
Yeah.
There's also, what else do we got?
we do have real estate clients.
Yes.
We have tour companies. We have a great walking tour. One of our clients did a walking tour of Italy.
Yes,
Ooh.
because we also integrate Google Maps, and so it's great for doing wayfinding and stuff. So we have people that are documenting hiking trails, and then we also have the ability to read the GPS coordinates from your phone, so you can see where you are in relation to the 360 that you're looking at, and you can track yourself through that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Tourism, destination marketing. So we work with some of our clients have like that. Are you going to show the Sturgis one?
Yes.
So, you know, we have a motorcycle group that hosts an event every year. And so they've used us for their event. And
Yeah.
Okay, well,
really, it's all over the joint. It was really hard, you know, when you're trying to define your customer.
yeah.
You look at a customer base and I'm going, well, it's not this customer, it's not
Yeah.
this customer. Really, anyone interested in technology or new ways of showing their product to their audiences.
Engineering and construction is another big one.
Mhm.
We have the ability to do before and afters. And so especially these days where people can't go on site to see how things are progressing, a lot of construction and engineering companies are documenting their progress, and they can do site inspections, virtual site inspections and stuff like that. So that was another one that's been picking up a lot.
Yeah, we got a shipyard in Dubai.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really all over the joint.
Wow. Okay, so let's get into it and let's talk about it and tell people what it is, what SeekBeak is all about.
Sure. Do you want me to, should I do a screen share?
Yep. Go ahead.
Do that. This one. All right, so here's the website here. So I will dive into, why don't I just dive into the dashboard? Should I do like just a brief overview of how it all works?
Well,
Or
tell us what it is, because
Right,
if you
okay.
don't know, then
Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to click back here. So as you can see, it is the easiest way to create virtual trade shows. That's another huge one I'd forgotten about. It is a way to add interactivity to your 360s and or flat images. And yes, you can do virtual tours and you know, the real estate tours and things like that. But you can also do so many more things. We
We call them virtual experiences.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because not every tour has a start and ending point, right? Like you can have any image has its own unique URL. So if you need to start somebody viewing a certain area, then you can send them a link to that. And if somebody else needs to view something else, you can send them another link to that. So it's not always an A, B, C, D type of tour.
Yeah. We recently had a client who did a sound festival in the UK and used our platform. So it's not always about a visual wayfinding.
Yeah. A lot of audio interactivity as well, because we have a spatial audio support as well. So it's very similar to other things you may have used in the past, where you would upload your 360 images from any camera. Even iPhones now, you stitch your iPhone pictures together and upload those. But we also support flat images as well. So you would upload your images, and you can see here I've created a group And a group is what we call, it's basically a container. So if you think of like folders on a computer that hold your images, this is what we call groups, right? So I have a group of photos here, or snaps as we call them. So we call them snaps because they're not photos, because they can also contain embedded audio and links and things like that. So we call them snaps, like snapshots. So
I was going to ask you if that was a Canadian term.
No,
or is it just a Tim term, a Tim and Jen term?
It's a generic Tim term, because this is the other thing, right? Because we're not targeting like a certain vertical. We have to kind of keep things generic enough so that everybody can use them, because it's so varied what people are using it for.
These are some shots of our lovely neck of the woods.
These are some
delicious very nice, actually.
Up here in Canada. So I'll crack open this one.
Whoa. Okay, so that's nice.
This is our backyard.
No.
in the winter.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. So this was a shot done by a friend of ours at Be More Colorful, who's been a client of ours for years and years and years. And he came up to visit us and took these shots for us. So you can see there's a giant arrow in the lake here. So let me go over the core concept of SeekBeak. So what you do is you create a hotspot. Whether or not that is a point hotspot or a polygon hotspot is up to you. We support both of them. And then you define what that hotspot does, basically. And so you can see here that I have created this arrow in the lake here. What I'm going to do, I'll just delete that because I'll start from scratch. So let's say, I'll also delete this one.
So this is assuming I've uploaded all my 360 photos or whatever,
Correct.
My photos. Okay.
Yeah. At this point, you would upload them, and then they would show up in this screen. And if you want, you can drag and drop to reorder them, which comes into play later on when you're doing things like doing thumbnails and whatnot. So they're all in here, and I've now clicked into my first one that I want to start playing around with, which was this one. And so let's say that I'm doing a tour for this hotel, or I want to do something where people can find out more about the hotel. So I can click the edit button here, and I can go into edit mode. I can click this one, I can save it. There we go. And I can click add, and so you get the ability to add a polygon or a point, like I was just talking about, or this one called a quick jump hotspot. And the quick jump hotspot is if you're just doing a virtual tour where you jump from one image to the other. This is a really easy way just to click, drag it out, and it's done, right? And so if I click save, that's now live on the internet, and I've now created a virtual tour, technically, right?
Go to Banff Falls then.
So yeah, so if I click this now, I would go to Banff Falls, and I magically appear in this image now. So if all you're doing is creating like A to B virtual tours, it's very, very quick to get something going, right? You just go to the next image, drop another one of these in, and you're done.
So like if you were doing it for a house, you would put in the doorway the image for the next room that you get to when you go through that door.
Yep. However, if you wanted to get real tricky, you could do a polygon hotspot, and you could outline the shape of the door so people could click on that as well. So let's say if people want to find out more about this hotel here, I can say, okay, well, I want to make a polygon hotspot.
Tim loves making polygons.
I love making. I'll make it quick, right? So you can outline the area you want. Maybe I'll just make it a square, just so it's quick, because I could spend all day outlining that. Right, and then you can move them around.
You guys are so funny. Okay.
Okay, and then so I can go and I can edit this hotspot, and now I can say, okay, well, what do I want to happen when someone clicks this hotspot, right? So we have a whole host of things that can happen. You can open an external URL to another website, right? So you can link to the hotel's website. You can pop open your default email client with a pre-populated email address and subject line. So you book your reservation, contact us, etc. You can play an audio clip. You can also set this as a background audio clip as well. So if you wanted to have birds chirping in the background or whatever, you could do that.
And we have spatial audio too. So one of Tim's background hats is that he's an audio file. a musician,
Oh,
Yes, yeah, I'm an audio engineer as well. So I'm quite picky with audio stuff. So
I think
yeah,
our audio stuff is really good.
so
Which is why we had a sound festival use SeekBeak too, right?
ah, okay. The connection there. Okay, getting it. Yeah.
yes, I was in the music business for a decade. So
Oh.
this is all kind of come together. So now we have the audio hotspots, and then we have an image hotspot, which will pop open a nice light box and or a slideshow of images as you want,
Mm-hmm.
if you want, which people can page back and forth. You can have it call a phone. So if you're on your mobile phone, it will physically dial the number that you tap there, which is kind of handy.
So if you want to make reservations and call the hotel.
Totally. We have a few hotels that do exactly that. So if you click on, and if you go into the foyer and you click on the booking desk, it will call the hotel. And if you click it on a desktop, it'll open up Skype or FaceTime or whatever is registered as your phone calling application. We have a shopping cart hotspot, which is kind of cool. So say you're doing retail is another one. So if you have a retail store that's using it for selling products, you can put in the link to your product there. And SeekBeak will go out and it will grab the description and the main image from your product page that you've already created, and it will populate a buy now button and a light box with the image and description of your product. So you don't have to maintain 2 product databases if you're doing an online retail store.
Whoa, that's nice. Okay.
Which is yeah, it's super handy if you're doing retail things.
Yeah.
We have one for the super nerds here called the Signal Hotspot, which will send out a ping to an API. So for example, if you want to control like home lighting, for example, you could have one that would say, open the blinds or turn off the lights or whatever, and you tap that hotspot and it will send out a ping to your Philips Hue lights or whatever and turn them down. So not often used at all. But it's there. We had some guy in the States who was using it to drive a remote control car in his house. He had set it up to do that. So the options there.
Well, we have smart lights throughout our house. In fact, all of our lights are controlled by software.
Right. So if you have an API endpoint that you could ping, then you could.
Yeah.
You could
I'm waiting for the one that cooks dinner when I press it.
I'm waiting for laundry.
Oh, now you. Oh.
Because I do so much laundry.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a jump to Snap hotspot, which would be your virtual tour where you go to the next one. The forms is one where you can do data capture and lead generation. So we have a whole robust form designer built in here. So if you've used Google Forms or what's the other, SurveyMonkey or something like that, we have one built in, which means that people can fill out forms and whatnot without ever leaving the 360. And then you can go and you can report on all that later and get all your metrics and data. We can also email you immediately if you like. And then the embed hotspot. So if you have a YouTube or a Vimeo or even another website, it will embed almost anything as long as that website lets you embed it.
We could show them some tours where all of those are in use.
Yes. So let me just do that.
So the polygon feature is nice because on most virtual tours, you have to click the hotspot to go to the next room. This one, if I could click a door and just move, that would be really nice. But how do I know that the door is a hotspot?
Well, excellent question. So we have, as you can tell here, it's this hideous black black blob, which you don't necessarily want, right? So what you can do is you can go and you can customize the color, and you can say, okay, well, perhaps it'll be transparent, and then when someone hovers over it, it will become this somewhat lime green color that I'm just making, and you can kind of test it down here and see what it's going to look like. So now, if I save that, and you hover over it, you'll be able to see that.
Okay.
And you can make that as subtle or hidden as you want. So what's neat is a lot of people have been using that for Easter egg hunts, and in order to get more interactivity and more engagement with their images. And so they'll say, find the 5 golden rings or whatever, and that will make people spend so much time looking at their images and their content, trying to find these hidden images for a discount code or a coupon or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Because I love doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. All right, so let me crack open another tour that shows those hotspots in action. So I'm not just doing them from scratch here. So let me open up this folder.
Yeah, another client we recently had was an escape room.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really neat. Like, I guess they're taking off on the online world as well as, you know, in the physical world. Those
Yep.
have been.
Those are super fun. I love those. I did one.
Did you? I
I
would
did.
never do one.
Oh gosh, it was so much fun.
I'll show you this one. This is the escape room while we're chatting about it. So this is the demo of the escape room that they've done. And so what they've done, it's super slick the way they've done it is.
Welcome to the Future Directions Bureau
Oh,
testing facility.
can you hear the audio?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they've embedded SeekBeak.
These tests will ensure you are not lost forever in the streams of time. We still haven't found the agents who skipped these tests.
Mute. There we go. So so what they've done is they've embedded SeekBeak inside their own website, and so you can find out all about your mission. You can click on objects to pick them up, and so what's really neat is the way they've done it is if I click on this little portal gun here, it shows up in the sidebar, and so they've done all sorts of neat kind of icon clicks and whatnot, and so they've because they couldn't have anybody physically attending their escape room, they've made virtual.
That's way cool. This is a great example for people who want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is their free introductory one, and then of course they have paid ones, which is the full version after. So
sorry, that was a side.
That was a. I like going off on tangents. So let's do. Where was that other one we were going to do? The home tour. So if I go back to here. I'll show you how those polygon hotspots come in really handy. So I can search for my groups here, and I have one with the images kindly donated from the reality capture experts.
Some random American home.
The new American home, right? So
I like the way that they've used the polygon hotspot here.
Yes. So, so this is, we have this little sidebar which can fold open here, which we call the group info panel because it contains information about the group. And so you can see here they've embedded some content and some videos. And this guy who wants to...
We'd buy a home from him.
We definitely buy a home from him.
Jen and I would. Sign us up.
Right. Rugged, handsome sales guy. Okay, so...
Oh, that's a nice home.
This is a nice home. This is but let's say for example someone looked at this unit here and you can hover over it and now you can see that you get this much more kind of subtle hover effect. You can click on it and you can find out more about all the appliances, for example. Right?
That's way better than a spot. That's so much better. Yeah.
Totally. And I think I did so the dishwasher as well, right? You click on the dishwasher and you get all the info about the dishwasher. So you could, if you're trying to chat about how awesome the appliances are and whatever, this is a very non-intrusive way of doing that, right? Yeah. So you don't have these bubbles floating everywhere.
Yep, sure.
Yeah. And then, so we can navigate over here.
Whoa. This is not the average American home.
How we think you guys live.
Isn't this how every house is?
Yeah, gosh, that seems like small compared to my home.
So again, look at the odd shape of this pool, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and what a perfect
hotspot.
Okay, so you pop that open and you get a video of what life would be like if you owned a pool, for example.
I was expecting if you clicked on the pool to have all these hot models in bikinis suddenly appearing in your pool.
Okay.
No, unfortunately, we don't have that technology yet. We have, what's that?
Oh, maybe different.
Okay, no, yes. Here's the gallery one. This will show you the construction.
Cool. Yep.
So you can have your slideshow. And on mobile, this is fully responsive, so people can just swipe back and forth. There's also navigation down there and a full screen button, etc. And then there's these little information panels where you can fold it open and find out more information. And that updates per photo as well. So you can you can get a lot of information covered in a short amount of time. Now, these strange looking icons here were just demos just to show that if you wanted to get icons that looked like other, ones that people may have been used to in the past, then you could definitely do that as well. So we have a whole host of icon customization options where you can.
Oh, you can change the color.
Oh yeah, you can scale them. You can add shadows to give 3D effects. You can rotate them, flip them, do all sorts of stuff that you want. In order to
customize them to be your own logo or picture.
Yeah, you can customize. You can use one of our stock ones. You can upload your own.
Is that where the arrow comes from?
That arrow, yeah, the arrow is one of ours as well.
Yeah.
So that was a similar thing. So just cancel that just so I can. What I wanted to show you was each image that you click has its own defined starting point. So usually when you upload a 360, you can say where you want that 360 to start.
Yeah.
But what if you have multiple hotspots that are leading into that 360? You don't always want to start at the same spot. So you can define which spot per hotspot that you want to show when you go into that room. So for example, for this hotspot, we're going to show up and we're going to be looking straight ahead at
like you walked right into it, right?
Exactly. And we are just about to release a custom transition designer as well, which will allow you to do, again, kind of like some certain other folks where you zoom forward and while it's loading the new image and stuff. So right now you get the nice crossfade, but we're days away from launching a transition designer where you can.
So in other words, it looks like you're walking from the one point.
As good as you can with 360s and no depth data, right?
Yeah.
So what else? Let me show you another one. So this is, this of course can be used for real estate as well. I'm going to go to the outdoors now. And so the outdoors, you'll see that this panel slides open automatically because I had set it to do that because this is the introduction to the house, right? So we have, of course, the lens flare. If you want to add some Michael Bay pizzazz to your... when we also allow multiple lens flares. So if you're doing like Tatooine Star Wars stuff, you can have multiple suns. And here we go. We have the flat image as well. Okay, so this is something I just grabbed off the website for the house, and it is a flat image, so you don't have to use 360s at all. We have, of course, a link. If you click it, it will open up the house, the website, which shows all the builders and how it was constructed, et cetera, et cetera. We also have the ability to embed certain other tours if you're so inclined. So this was done.
That's the unmentionable name.
Unmentionable, right? So you can embed almost anything. We have the welcome form here. So this form is, please tell us a bit about yourself. Would you like some more information, et cetera, et cetera. We also have a feature where this is the editor right now. So if I go to the public view link, which is what the public would see, this form pops up and they have to fill out the form before they're able to view the tour, which is optional as well, right? So this was hugely requested by trade show people because they wanted to get people registering for the trade show.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's good for real estate and whatnot. So you now have the option to...
Wait. So you listen to what your customers are asking?
If it makes sense, and more than one person would be able to use it, absolutely.
Or if you think it's really fun to make.
Yes. Really fun to make.
Okay.
So this was another one because we have a lot of aerial folks and drone photography people coming on board, and so this is a nice little combo. I've hidden the UI so we get the nice full screen view, where they've used polygon hotspots on the houses, but they've also used these ones so you can do your normal tour.
Oh, you can jump in the lake.
You could jump in the lake. What is the?
Whoa.
Oh, this is the wildlife pond.
Sorry, it's not a lake; it's a pond.
Exactly. And then this trail access, right? So it's a really neat use of a whole bunch of technologies, right? With the polygons, drones, and then you can go and you can zoom into the houses, and you can also do virtual tours of the houses as well if you want. Right?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Fargo. Okay.
Fargo.
This is Be More Colorful, one of our clients. They're based out of Fargo.
Yeah.
And they do some great work.
What's another one?
Canadian Ad Band. That's a totally different one.
Right. Okay. So this one's a little left to center as far as what people think when they think of virtual tours. So this is a full retail solution where you can click on each of the products and it will show you a close-up of the product. And if they're for sale, it will have the buy now button where you can buy it. And so the way that he's done it is you can see that the icon changes, right? So the polygon hotspot is there, but it's not flashing bright green or whatever when you do it.
And
Yeah,
I like
it's
this
more
one.
subtle.
He did it all on his iPhone.
Yes.
Right? This is just
Wow.
so we go from Be More Colorful, who are amazing photographers, through to a one guy in his antique shop doing it on his iPhone.
Yeah. Which is why I can't pan up and down. I can just go left and right because it's a panorama from an iPhone, which looks gorgeous. It's really well done.
Let's say if you wanted to buy one.
Oh no, this is the video of Johnny Cash. Oh yeah, so here's a buy one, right? So this would have been a link that he put in from his Shopify store or wherever, and then SeekBeak pulls all the information and the picture and stuff, and then when you click that button, it goes to the store page.
Yeah.
So if you want to have an online store, I've seen people set up these pop-up like stores where they put all their products in, and then they take these 360 panos, and then they could do this from that, where the store doesn't normally exist, but you feel like you're in a store when you're purchasing stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
And so you can like look at the shelves. People like that a lot better than just here's the list of products I have, right?
Yeah, and it's so much more engaging. Like I clicked 4 of them just poking around, right? So a lot more people are going to see your content, because it's so easy just to kind of to navigate, click around, and it's not just a drop down filled with text, right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how you get to your website. So the website address is?
It is SeekBeak.com.
And that's spelled?
SeekBeak.com.
Remember, you're looking for things with your nose.
That's right.
And talk about the price and the different sort of plans that you have.
Well, we have pricing for pricing. I would suggest to see the website because there's a whole ton of stuff on there. But we have pricing for individuals and small businesses all the way up to larger enterprises. And
there's a free account.
There's also free accounts, right, which you can use forever. And there's trials. There's 14-day trials on every account. So if you decide that it's not for you, cancel it, and no money is changed.
Right. So you have nothing to lose. Try it out, right?
Try it out.
And what we like about our pricing model is you sign up as an individual, and then you grow into a small business, and then you take over the world. Your content comes with you, right? So you can grow as your business grows too.
Yes. We also support you can define your organizational structure. We have role-based access, teams, multiple users. And
great reporting. I think a lot of clients come to us because we have a really good reporting system.
Yeah, we have extremely robust reports.
Yeah.
Analytics. Can we spend 30 seconds just to glance over them? Sure.
Okay. They're a huge thing, and if people.
Yeah, a lot of people want them.
Yes. So let me go back to the dashboard. I'll go to my reports. So we have an active duration report, which will show you, let me just select a date range here where we have some data. So the active duration will show you how engaged people were with your image. So this is not just like they have it open in a tab and they've gone for coffee. It's they're clicking around, they're engaging with your image. We have a browser report, which everybody does, which tells you what kind of browsers and categories they're using. Form responses. So if people filled out your intro form, which they would have done for this one, right? So this is where you get all your emails from people that had entered your trade show, etc. If you have quantifiable questions, what did you think of our tour on a 1 to 10? Or what are your chances of buying this in the next 3 months? You get a nice graph that spits out the responses to that. We have a heat map report, which is super cool because it will show you physically where people are paying the most attention to your images.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That's cool.
So again, in like a retail environment, for example, you can see
Yeah.
if 80% of the people are focused on your, coffee machine.
Or in a training environment, if everyone's skipping over, the paramedic step 1,
Yes.
it's not a good thing.
Ah.
Right?
Or you can see what kind of toilet paper they like.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Which is important nowadays.
That's right. And then we have the normal ones, the click report, the number of views. This is my demo one, which is why it's mainly just me viewing it. And then we also have email reports, so you can schedule weekly, monthly, quarterly emails to be sent to yourself, which will summarize different groups and views and etc. And tour guide reports, which will let you see how many tour guide sessions you've had.
So tour guide is where you can log on and other people can log on from anywhere else in the world, and you can show them physically through your tour, which has been a really great one during the coronavirus pandemic because people can't physically go places. So that's been quite good.
Yeah, it's basically an audio video sharing, right? Which is like Zoom for 360s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so lots of good analytics and data that people often ask for. Yeah, that's great. All right. So go to the website if you want to learn all about the different account levels that you can use. This is a great product. It has a lot of neat features that I've not seen before. So I encourage you again, it's seekbeak.com, SeekBeak.com. All right, the final question and the most important question. And I'm going to ask Jen this question.
I was gonna say, who gets that?
So Jen, what is SeekBeak's secret sauce?
Our secret sauce. Well, our secret sauce is Tim. So when we do client calls or when we ask people for feedback, their main response is how great our service is. So Tim is responsive. He gets back to them. He doesn't mind answering questions that might seem silly. He listens to them to implement new features. So he's our secret sauce. I think our other secret sauce is that we are so easy to use. And we have so many different clients, from daycare centers to training to real estate. So anybody can use us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Sounds
Did I
about
miss
right.
any sauce?
No.
Well, I think your second sauce is true, but I'm going to have to disagree with you on the first sauce. Because I think your secret sauce is actually the woman behind the man. It's definitely Jen. Right,
Always.
Tim?
That's right. Yes, dear.
It's true. It's our passion project, right? And like you said, all good businesses start from passion or hobby, and this is our passion project. So
Yes.
we
And
definitely support each other in it.
Yep.
You're quite impressive, both of you. And maybe you should have called it SeekGeek, Tim the SeekGeek.
I'll see if the domain's
Sounds
registered.
like a dating site I'd be into.
No, yeah.
And you guys have a good sense of humor, which I really like. So you're fun to work with. You have a great product. If you haven't checked it out, again, seekbeak.com, SeekBeak.com. If you have any questions, you're going to get the secret sauce. But yeah, definitely check it out. You can try it for free. So you have nothing to lose. Wow. So this has been terrific. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. I've learned a lot, and I hope
Thank you for inviting us.
I hope everyone else out there has enjoyed this. I certainly have.
Great.
So if there's any ideas or anything you want to see in the future, just let me know. Put it in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.